Hi guys, so I'm moving on to part two. This is part two of the Don McGahn reading, okay? So I'm separating into different parts just because it's very dense. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions and a lot of information even from the first reading. So just pausing, okay? So the other questions I have here are: is he telling everything he knows? Consequences of his testimony? What Mueller thinks of him? Will he get away scot-free? Will he spend time in prison? And how can he paint himself as innocent when he's at the center of so much? Okay, I discussed this at the part one. So, okay, so I kind of feel like, is it telling everything he knows? That's too broad a question. Okay, this question will be interesting. I think this question will be addressed by in the section where I ask what Mueller thinks of him, because then it will say Mueller will think he tells the truth or not or whatever. Okay, so let me get started here. It's just a lot. Okay, so what are the consequences of his testimony? What Mueller thinks of him? Will he get away scot-free? Will he go to prison? Let me just ask the first part. Okay, so what are the consequences of his testimony, and how relevant is his testimony to Mueller's case? Okay. So guys, by the way, I don't play chess, but I saw this image of a chess game, and it showed that, I don't know, like I said, I don't know any details about anything about related to chess, but it showed that it's like one thing, one game that kills all that wins. It's a winning game. It basically let me know that what he has from, again, kills several birds, like killing several birds with one stone. Okay, so very meaning it's very important. So it showed that he knows a lot about the obstruction of justice, and he has documents proving obstruction of justice in the case of firing Comey and firing someone else. Somebody was that other person? There's someone else that I feel like he also knows about him firing someone else or making something else happen, putting pressure on something. Oh, I think it's something related to this. I don't know if it's like those Time Warner merger or Sinclair merger, something like that, guys. Okay. Oh, you know what? Remember there was news recently that Don McGahn called an agent at the SEC to ask about the merger. Now I'm remembering this. Okay, so then he knows that. And then third, okay, this is important. He knows he can crush Kushner because he knows how important Kushner was to the Iran deal and how interested he was, and okay, and those things. Okay, and how he, the things he asked, and what he showed that Kushner was interested in implementing the policy right away, and that he connects these dates to. And I think Mueller is thinking Mueller has the financial information about Kushner, meaning he knows that the money got to Kushner, right? So that's important. The other thing that's very important is like, okay, so obstruction of justice done. Oh, also Kavanaugh, right? He talks to Mueller about how the plan is in place to basically obstruct justice and change the law so that he'll never, in his mind, right, he'll never be fired. He'll never lose his job. He'll change the laws. Okay. Okay, so that's more. What else? Oh, he knows about how much Trump wanted to lift the sanctions, and he asked him to look around. How can he go around it? Okay, and then again, there's evidence of this. Something about the Treasury Department, something about money, like again, something more very in-depth, the very in-depth issues related to the Russian sanctions, and right away from the very beginning. So he knows, essentially, Don McGahn knows how Trump wanted to change the platform of U.S. policy, foreign policy. He knows that, and from various angles, he knows that as soon as Kushner returned from Saudi Arabia, he wanted to change the Iran deal. I feel like Kushner may even have connected him to some Saudi Arabia person. I don't know. There's something here where there is just very shady, okay? Okay, and then anything else? And like I said, it shows that he was Trump. It's interesting that Trump was essentially, he knows that Trump was more concerned with foreign policy because foreign policy would pay his bills. Okay, seriously. So it's almost as if Trump's only real concern, or like his focus, was changing the Russian sanctions, obstruction of justice related to Russian investigation, but essentially that all he wanted to use the U.S. his job essentially, right, in the U.S. as a president, just the president, to change everything in terms of foreign policy, just so he could cash out, okay, further. And Trump was always trying to find a loophole and to see, if he could get away with specific things. He also tells Mueller that he knows about the legal consequences of things because he was always asking him. Okay. Okay, so guys, I am going to stop here because you know what? I realize here that this is an important part of the conversation just because it explains his role, like how he's important. So the next part is also important, but it has more to do with how Mueller sees him and the legal consequences for him, for Don McGahn, apart from Trump. So, and I feel like that I don't want to mix those up because, like I said, it's just so much information. So, okay, I'm going to stop here, guys. Okay.